Okay, welcome everyone. If you are joining us right now, you are here for our Ready to PebbleGo Back to School webinar series. And I have my friends Veronica and Jessica with me, and they're going to talk to you tonight about bringing learning into the library. As you can see here on the screen, we have a couple people in the room who are here to help. So Jessica is a library media specialist in Harlingen, Texas, and it's her first year in secondary education. Previously, she worked as a library media specialist in an elementary setting for 4 years. And before that, taught pre-K through first grade for 14 years. She's a lifelong learner, and she loves to share her learning. I also love the younger ages with the pre-K, K. So we have a connection there. And then Veronica is the literacy and cultural studies specialist in Harlingen, Texas. And she has been in her school for 5 years, in addition to being the district lead elementary librarian for the last 2 years now. Now this is year 3. She's been in education for about 16 years and a librarian for 7 years. She also loves learning and sharing her learning with others and helping others and literature and technology. And she's also a lifelong learner. They're also friends of ours, with our friend Monica, who you may have gone to her webinar earlier in this series. And we love connecting with friends and learning with friends along the way. So here at Capstone, we help kids succeed by making learning fun. It's our purpose. It's what we do and why we do what we do. And our core values are something that we think about in all of our work. And tonight I'm going to invite you to join me in letting curiosity lead the way. So as you're learning from my 2 friends on this call, please ask any questions that you have and let us know if you do similar things or if you have any variation of them. At Capstone, we've been making learning fun for quite a while, just over 30 years. And PebbleGo is probably why you're here tonight. So if you're new to Capstone, we have a suite of resources to help you. We have content that are nonfiction articles for kids to discover new information and let their curiosity lead the way. We have ebooks, we have resources for educators to help connect it all together. And to have that active learning in your classroom, we have PebbleGo Create. And I'm going to show you all what that looks like. With our new for Back to School 2024, back to school is different for everyone right now. You may have just started back to school. You may have been in for a month now. Let us know in the chat, where are you in back to school right now? I know that like where I live, this is our 2nd week back to school for students in my area. But I think our friends on the call have been back to school maybe a little longer than us. And I'm curious, Sherry in the chat, if you can tell us what back to school means for you. I'd love to know where you're at with your back to school journey. And so if I come back over here to my slide deck, with our back to school updates, you'll notice PebbleGo looks a little bit different and you'll find new content in it. We are continually releasing new articles and ebooks. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what that looks like. So we have partnered with Clever. And when you log into your Clever account, you can find PebbleGo. And now, because we're a part of our Clever integration, it knows if you're an educator or if you're a student. So I'm signed in as an educator, and here you can see all the great resources that I have access to. And I can easily get into PebbleGo. And once I'm in PebbleGo, I can easily navigate between all my different tools here at the top. I still have my favorite copy link button as a teacher, so I can share it out to my students. I can toggle between English and Spanish. And if I want my students to show what they know, they can easily come into PebbleGo Create and make that new project right here on their screen. So once they're logged in, we love our integration with Clever and how easy they can navigate through all of the resources. And just a quick FYI, if you are located in one of these states or regions, you probably have access to some version of PebbleGo with some of our resources. And if you don't know about your access yet, we'd love to connect with you and get you set up. So tonight we're talking about one of our biggest overall challenges that we have in education. It's student engagement and motivation. And how do we get students and teachers and families motivated? So to kick off the school year, Jessica and Veronica are going to share some of their favorite activities and ways to introduce this to students. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'll let Veronica get us started.
All right, here we go. Okay, so my name is Veronica Rodriguez. I am the lead librarian in my district, and I'm also a librarian at the school that I'm at currently. This is a presentation that I like to use when we are introducing PebbleGo to our students in the library. I create these presentations so that I know the direction that we're going in. My clerk also has access to this. So when I'm not on campus and she's teaching, she also knows the direction in which the lesson should flow. So this really does help with the flow of the lesson, especially when you are introducing new tools to your littles. So we also use Clever, but we use Clever in a kind of a slight different way because it actually holds all of our resources. And so in our library, we like to create badges for our students. And this year we decided to go with this little badge right here, and their Clever badge will be right here in the middle. And it will let the students know that this is the badge that they're going to use for Clever. So every student has one of these on our campus, and this is what they would scan when they log in. And once they log in, they will be selecting Mac and VIA from their dashboard. My students have already hearted their favorite ones that we use a lot in the library. So as you can see here on the screen, Mac and VIA is one that we use. We also use Seesaw, Renaissance, BrainPop, and BrainPop Junior. We're kind of gearing away from that, but they still see it on their slide deck. So I just left it there. But we jump into Mac and VIA to access our capstone resource, PebbleGo. So this, like I said, this is a step-by-step. So as we are explaining to the students, click here, click there, you'll see a lot of icons because we go one step at a time with our students. We have littles in here that are in first grade that we also want to introduce this resource to. So we want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what they are pressing. And this is what our PebbleGo looks like on our database. And then we just do like a little introduction. We let them know that we're going to use this digital resource when we are conducting research. And as an IB campus, we do a lot of research with our IB units. So it is important for our students to know that this is a database that has, you know, valid facts, and they can trust the images, they can trust the articles and the citations as well. So this is our landing page. Our region currently only has access to the science, but we love the science because there are so many great tools in just the science alone. So we do go around and make sure that everybody has the same landing page, everybody's on track, and we just make sure that the students know that we are accessing science. We always tell them this is science, so this is your science connection when we're in the library. That way, when somebody does come in and ask them, what are you guys learning, or what are you doing today, they know that we're connecting to their science lesson that their teacher has already prepped for them. So when we do this with our students, for the first time, we love for them to explore. And they dive into the science sections and they get to click on every little icon at one at a time, of course. And we always bring them back to PebbleGo so that they know this is the home page. So as you can see here, they click on all of these little icons so that they know what to find here, where to find the games, where to find the question of the day. And they know that this is more of it is also part of our landing page. We call all these little sections landing pages because we always try to bring them back. And if they get lost, we love that PebbleGo has these little like breadcrumbs that we like to tell the kids, okay, click back on the science. That will take you to the big page. And then when they get lost, when they're exploring, we tell them, okay, what were you in before? And we show them how the little breadcrumbs just kind of keep going for them. So once we've gone through all of the little tools, we do have activities with connected with our LMS. We use Seesaw in the elementary. And so then we turn it around and we say, okay, once we've explored all the tools, we've looked at everything, now it's your turn to dive into PebbleGo and see if you can follow simple steps. So we would give them something like this on our Seesaw page. And again, you'll see there's lots of pictures. Every slide in our Seesaw has step-by-step also, but you'll see that there's also some instructions here for the kids in case they forget how to access. It's always good to kind of have that for them multiple ways because you know they're gonna forget where did they click. So this is just great, and it also helps my clerk because she may not be very familiar with it, but she can easily follow as well as the kids. We love using Seesaw. It has been great for us. And we also love the fact that I can share this with my teachers and now they can see and have access to what particular things were they looking at in PebbleGo, and we like to use the share links so that they can include it in their IB portfolios when they have to turn them in at the end of the year and they have to make those connections. Everything is so neatly put in as links because PebbleGo has those great links that you can just click on and share, and everyone has access. No one has to, you know, jump here, jump there, or figure out where did you get that. It's all linked in their portfolios. So it is a great resource to have with our, not only our students, but our teachers as well. And I think that's the end of my presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. One of the things that you said that made me really think about my time in the classroom was if I wasn't there, somebody else could still do it and take it and run. And just the ease of PebbleGo and the great presentation you have for them to show the students and walk them through it. And I think you mentioned it in our planning call that your clerk might say some things in a little bit different way, but your directions are there and the students can see what it looks like, so they're easily able to get in. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
And then I will stop sharing. Oh, you got it. Okay, now we're going to hear from Jessica.
Hello. Let me share my screen. Okay. Went back. Okay, can you see the teaks?
Yes, we can. Yep, you're on the right.
Thank you, Veronica did a wonderful job of explaining how we direct the children in the right path on PebbleGo, and the steps were wonderful. I love the breadcrumbs reference. I'm going to use that from now on. So that was perfect. I'm excited to present on PebbleGo because it is an amazing resource, and you know that you're getting reliable information to use with the students. I included these Texas TEKs that we have here for third grade science for my lesson. I have the ISTE standards and our school library program standards all included here that you can use to explain what the students will be covering. And in PebbleGo, I have my lesson here. The students will, I'm going to move over, sorry. Go to your landing page, and again we are going to go to science, and in here you're going to find different categories, of course. Mine is about planets today, and I'll go over that briefly. I did want to also share that down here on the bottom It says educator resources. If you click on that and you scroll down, you can see the option to find the lesson plans and activities right here for different topics. And if you go scroll down, you'll see that there are lessons here in these topics for in English, Spanish, and then the PebbleGo Next is the 3rd grade through 5th grade. So this is the younger kiddos, kinder through 2nd. And these are amazing lessons that I've tried. I've used with biographies, and it's a lot of information, and it just helps the lesson flow very well. So let me go back to, sorry, I went sidetracked to science. And then we're going to find Earth and Space Science.
Earth Science.
Sorry. And space science. That's what we're covering today, planets.
Our soul.
Yes. So our solar system here has wonderful information to help you, but I wanted to focus on just planets.
Neptune.
You have all the planets here, and it says Pluto, dwarf planet, because sadly it's not part of our main planets. And in here you're going to find wonderful information, and once the kids get to this area, they can play it so it's read to them. They have facts and all different kinds of how it moves, the moons, which I might want to include in my project, and then read more, and it has related topics with it.
What is it?
One important thing on the very bottom, you'll see cite. And when you click on cite, it gives you the citation that you need in MLA format that you can copy. So you just click here, you copy it, or you can copy here. And it tells you that it's copied, and paste it into your projects, which I love. It's amazing. It saves time, especially for the littles, because they don't really understand the entire format of the citation, but we need them to understand that they do need to cite their resources. And this is a digital resource, and it does need to be cited. Let me go back. Got a little bit lost. So when we go to the project that I had them set up, I usually use Freeform. Freeform is also a good tool when you don't have, PebbleGo Create. PebbleGo Create is amazing, but unfortunately we don't have it in our district, and we have to improvise. So I use Freeform, which is a lot of fun, but that is another webinar in itself. To learn how to use Freeform, it has a lot of different components involved. So today I decided I'm going to go with Canva, and Canva is super easy because you can come to the tools over here on the left, and you can pick the planets, the real pictures. You can pick, different boxes to put the text in, and the kids love doing it. They love to create it and make their presentation, and it's just a lot of fun. So they will go back and forth, or they can do the two screens, split the screens to have PebbleGo information. Click on Earth, get that information, and come back to their project. Well, they will input the information without plagiarizing. Of course, they need to reword it. On this project here, wanted them to word it as if the planet is introducing itself, using facts to explain more about it. Here is the citation that I copied and I pasted here. I also wanted them to include an actual picture of what the planet looks like in real life, in reality. You can do other things. I can show you. I moved on to, sorry, one second. Earth, and PebbleGo, the subscription also has books with capstone. So if you go to the capstone books, I'm sorry, let me take you back. Up here on top, it's the very top. It has PebbleGo Next, and it has capstone books. You can search for books here that relate to the topic that you're working on, and they can copy the links as well and paste it into your projects. I have our home planet, and it should work. And here is the story that I linked into the project, which the kids can do on their own. Of course, you're going to show them how to do all of this before you have them actually work on the project. And I included the short description. This one doesn't have the citation, and here's my photo. So you will have a rubric. You have a rubric of what you want your students to cover and include in their projects, just so they can touch base with everything. And the very end of the project, they are to use the real pictures and put it in the correct order and try to I guess have the sizes the way they should be according to the facts that they've read from PebbleGo. So the facts are your foundation, and you have to keep going back to them. The students have to keep going back to the facts and making sure they have everything correct on there. And then let me show you the next page. Hopefully they'll get to it. This is the example of freeform, another way they can make their planet presentation with the pictures, facts. They can label them. They can, of course, have their citation. For third grade, I usually ask them to include 3 facts. Fourth grade, 4 facts, and fifth grade, 5 facts about each planet, if possible. Let me see. Am I leaving anything out?
We will share links to these resources with the
Yes.
recording afterwards. So if
Yes.
anyone's wondering if they could see it later
So
on.
So basically, the kids have to do the work. They have to research, and then they have to take that information and create a project. And it goes back to my standards that I have here. Sorry.
It's okay.
Where they are use effective research strategies to find resources that support their learning needs, personal interests, and creative pursuits, and create original works or responsibly repurpose or remix digital resources into new creations. So this project actually covers all of these standards in here. They are researching. They can collaborate if you want them to collaborate. They need to be creative, and they make it their own, and make sure they include everything in the rubric. So you have this wonderful, amazing lesson plan with all these components, and they can present it in the library with you. They can present it in class with the teacher, or they can also add it to a Padlet to share out with the entire grade level. But that is what I was sharing for today. So thank you for your time.
Wonderful. I will take the screen back. Let's see. And if you have any questions, now is the time to share them in the chat. So if you have any questions, now is the time to share them in the chat. I do have 2 questions that I'd like to pose, and I'll ask them to you now, and then I'll come back in a few slides and let you respond. Okay, so one of the question for you both to think about is, what is your favorite way to use PebbleGo in the library? And another question I have for you is, how do you align PebbleGo projects with your state standards? So we've kind of touched on both of them already, but in a little bit, I'll call back on you to answer them officially. On the call with us today is my colleague, Jenna G. And we have another friend at Capstone, Jenna T, who the 2 of them together are leading our PebbleGo community leaders. And if you would like to join our community, we would love for you to learn more about it and reach out to them. As you saw, we are now integrated with Clever, and we're working on our integration with ClassLink, and that's soon to come. We want to continue to make this a very valuable resource for you and your students and make it as easy as possible for them. We have worked with the University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education to create a few white papers. So we have some research around how PebbleGo could be used in classrooms to support intellectual curiosity, accessible technology, and integrate digital literacy into elementary classrooms. And if you'd like to learn more about those, you can read these on our website. And because you're attending today live, you will get an email with a certificate of attendance that you can use sometimes for renewing your teacher's license if you need it. Okay, so now I'm back to my questions. You've had a little bit of time to think about it. So who would like to tell us, either Jessica or Veronica, what is your favorite, most engaging way to use PebbleGo in the library?
I can go ahead and answer that one. I actually love using PebbleGo, and I know the subscription that we have through Region 1, I use it with all of my students. PebbleGo, whether they're in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, I think the resources, the videos, the pictures, all the articles are just fabulous. They are a great go-to for any grade level. Yes, it's been a bit of a, you have to go, they are showing their teachers, they're showing each other, did you see this article, did you see that article? And they love using it. And the thing that I love most is seeing my students take their learning and flipping it and sharing what they've learned, what they've seen through PebbleGo, and going through each one of the articles or great for our students. And it's been amazing. I love it.
Wonderful, thank you for your response. And the next question I have is, how do you align PebbleGo projects with your state standards? Jessica, would you like to take that one?
Yes, I can take that one. Well, I look at my standards. I talk to the teachers, ask them what are we covering. And this particular time, they told me that they are preparing for the test and they want me to cover the planets in the correct order of the planets and facts about planets. And so I looked at the TEKs, I pulled them out, and that's how I went to PebbleGo, looked for the information that I needed, and it just guided me from there. PebbleGo just has all the wonderful information and videos and everything that's provided to you to make your lesson easy.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to take this time to say thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching this live or you're watching it later, we will share the resources with you. If the links aren't working right now because of sharing preferences, we will make note of that and update them so that you're able to see them. And tonight is our second to last webinar. Tomorrow we have one more webinar in our back to school series, talking about PebbleGo in the library, and I'd love for you to join us then as well. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to say good night and thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your week. Goodbye, everyone.